Amici di rock and roll, è con enorme piacere che oggi vado ad incontrare una band che ha fatto veramente la differenza negli ultimi anni per un genere che è veramente esploso. Direttamente dai Feuerschwanz abbiamo Hans. How's it going, man?
Hey, I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm super good. I'm very happy to have you here, ready for the brand new record. We gotta wait still for a few more days for the brand new record, but I'm here to talk about the process that brought the band to today. I mean, you started back in the days was 2004, and this genre was completely different. The production of the band totally changed in between the years, and the whole scene that surround Feuerschwanz totally changed. Convention changed, the market changed, the streaming changed, and all the empowerment that were connected to music atmosphere totally changed. If you think about this long journey, what do you think has been the most important key that Feuerschwanz used to found their own space in the market and in the metal scene in general?
Okay. I mean, there are two different views to look at it. And one is the musical side, and the other one is the more the business side, the promotion side. I'm not sure which part you want to hear, maybe both. At first, I would say we were really early adopters regarding social media. We had our MySpace profile, which I created actually back when nobody of the rest of the band ever heard of MySpace. I created a MySpace profile and started posting and playing around. And when Facebook came around, we switched to Facebook, and MySpace died very quickly actually. And yeah, and then we always kept going with the new platforms like TikTok or Instagram and stuff like that. And I think that's a tool we used quite well to reach people and to stay connected to people. It's more I mean, the strongest connection to someone is if they see you at a concert, at a live show. That's always the strongest, most personal connection. But to keep in touch during the times when they don't see you on a stage, social media is a very nice tool to communicate back and forth. Yeah. And um, and the other one was creating good music videos. I think during, especially during the pandemic, we kept on going. We didn't stop. We didn't say, "Oh, the world is bad. Everybody hates us." We just kept on going because as a musician, you are supposed to be the entertainer, and if not for bad times, when should you be the entertainer? You know what I mean? So we kept on going and tried to tried to entertain people and give a good feeling, even though the times weren't that good, maybe. But we did our thing and we did music videos in the deepest lockdowns and we kept going. And yeah, that were the two. I think if I would say, if I would have to name two things, these two would be very basic foundations of our development as a band. And musical wise, well, we started as a pure medieval Renaissance fair band without electric guitar, without bass, no real drums, just acoustic guitar, flute, and badum badum drums. Yeah, and that changed all the time. I wasn't part of the band when they started. I joined later, and I brought the electric guitar, and every album I turned up the volume a little bit even more, and now it's 11. So yeah.
Probably the key for Feuerschwanz has been constancy. Like keep going, always believing in yourself, empowering your music, and spreading out the audience.
Absolutely.
That was another
Absolutely.
idea. That's what you started actually by the social media pioneers.
Yeah, it's very important.
Considering
Yeah, sorry. It's very important to keep going because it's the overnight success is very rare, I think. It's always a step at a stair, one more step and one more step, and you always have to keep going and have to bite the dust and eat the dust, eat the dirt, and drive the extra mile. And yeah, you have to stay focused and you have to believe and keep going.
considering the discography of the band and the different moments of the band, we can actually say that something changed in the last, I'd say probably 5 years, for 4 years. That's when you decide to gain more guitars and stuff like that. And we also have to say that turning, bringing some, different inputs to the sound of the band, some cover songs totally open up the audience. But what I think that it's very important to underline when we talk about your band is that the roots of your production are so deeply rooted in your experience. So when we think about Dragon Sedinte, when we think about Gangnam Style, it's just like the last step of a pretty long stairway. That's my opinion. So it's nothing that comes with just like a good idea and a viral song. Do you agree with that?
I absolutely agree. It's always one step after the other, and we basically never stop songwriting or working on songs. When one album is finished, usually you do the tour for the album, and then we continue with songwriting. It's always a big cycle, and we never stop because creating songs is like a muscle, you know. And if you stop doing it, you have to regain it in a way. And if you're creative and you stay creative, you won't stop being creative. But if you stop working on songs, then it's hard to get back into it. But if you're in the mood, it's always song for song and album for album is always a step up. It always builds up on the last album, on the last sound, on the last experience, on the last learnings, which songs did work on tour, which didn't, and stuff like that. Yeah, and I agree, Gangnam Style or Dragostea Dinte would never have appeared out of nowhere. It just, with they, the songs are what they are because of our roots, because we started like we did, and then um, grew into that kind of music. But it's nothing which would have happened out of nowhere. Yeah.
You said touring. Obviously, it's another pivotal moment for the band. But if we consider the context of where the band is playing now, I think that the audience grew up so widely. Now we have vertical events for medieval metal, for example. Uh, Back in the days, a band like Forest was probably part of a long list of bands playing all completely different stuff of metal, different style of metal, and you were just a moment or a sign that something was different going on. But now we have vertical events, we have meetings, we have medieval meetings, we have Celtic Fest, we have so many atmosphere that are dedicated to your sound. Uh, so, do you think that the whole genre developing in a productive way actually enough to create a market by itself that can stay separated from the so-called general metal scene?
Oh, that's a good question, actually. Well, we started in the medieval and Celtic atmospheric festivals and markets and Renaissance fairs, and then slowly took over the metal festivals as well. But I think there's a huge market for the pure medieval stuff as well, for where we came from. It still exists. There are lots of, in Germany, where we came from, there's some bands which just play these kind of events and festivals on a smaller degree, but there are also large festivals with 10,000 of people attending, which are just dedicated to that kind of music. So I'm not sure if it how if you have those events in Italy. I don't know, but yeah, you have, okay. But in Germany, I think it would be possible just to play there and be very successful. It's a niche, but the niche grew more and more over time because I mean the niche includes fantasy games, the fantasy nerds from World of Warcraft and stuff like that. The movie movies with Lord of the Rings or Game of Thrones and everything in the books. So it's not just the historic, oh, I dress like a real knight. It's also all the fantasy people and the cosplay people, and that's actually a very huge niche, which is, in my opinion, larger than it's. You couldn't call it niche anymore because it's that large, but it's a niche in a way that it's not happening in the mainstream media, obviously.
You totally anticipated my next question. Do you think that the pop culture, like you said, cosplaying, comics, movies, books, role games, that now it's more accepted by people? Because back in the days we were all nerds,
Yeah,
playing Dungeons and Dragons in small dark rooms,
yeah.
not to be seen by anybody. But now, with everything that it's so huge, so big, there is so much marketing around that. Do you think that this kind of evolution was also helped by music? I'm not considering the opposite, like music's been helped by those kind of things, because we usually consider that. Like, this band got big because of the soundtrack, but I consider that sometimes even bands bring people to those kind of issues, those kind of production, those kind of books, those kind of movies.
Mhm.
I think that sometimes the opposite circle works at the same time.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, but it's a slow process, I think, and it's you said it right. We have been the nerds, the niche in the dark room, and nobody did like us or noticed us. And now everybody is talking about Game of Thrones and the big conventions and cosplay and stuff like that. But I think it's the same what happened to the internet. Like 20 years ago, 30 years ago, the people who were on the internet and they've been the nerds, the guys who just sit on the computer but without friends. Speaking of cliches or computer games, the same. Mostly young male phenomena, young males playing World of Warcraft. But that changed over time. It's not computer games and the internet went into the mainstream culture in a way, and so did as well the fantasy genre. If you look at movies and the so huge franchises, or Harry Potter, for example. I mean, it's in a way the same genre like fantasy, fantastic, and it's so big that uh, the mainstream culture adopted it, and the people who've been young and watched Harry Potter when they were like 10 or 12 years or a lot of things, they grew up and and they are now a buying audience, and now it's accepted to enjoy that kind of music or that kind of movies or that kind of events, or to dress up for those events. Yeah. But your question was, I think, if music influenced that. Um, and I don't know if music, well, in a way, probably, yeah. But it's hard to really to say if it really happened or not. But you notice that our genre bands are playing more and more metal festivals, and if you consider metal more mainstream, that medieval metal, then yes, because we played those festivals, a lot of people will, oh, a bagpipe sounds actually quite nice and powerful, so it got more accepted over time.
Very last question. It leads us to the end of the path. Like we talk about so many issues. Then one day, Feuerschwanz decided to bring fun and entertainment into medieval stuff, and so Knightclub is about to come out in a little bit more than a month. Uh, uh, which was your very first taste of that kind of entertainment and nightclub party feeling to actually gain into your previous production? Like, how do you get to this point where everything is so well balanced that it's trustable for metal fans, trustable for nerdy people, trustable
Mhm.
for someone who is totally disconnected with both worlds and
Yeah.
just like to club?
Well, the original Feuerschwanz have been the fun. making fun a little bit, bring the fun into the medieval scene, like it really was, dirty and drunk people, and not always about elves and stuff like that, the more like the dirty side of the medieval ages. And when we went more metal, we got a little bit more serious, but we always try to emphasize the positive side of living. We always try to bring positive energy towards from the stage and with our songs. And Nightclub basically is a reminiscence, a reminder of the past of Feuerschwanz, like big party, and the future of Feuerschwanz, the metal side, and it's bringing both sides together in one song. Yeah. And and you have to see the song live on stage. It has so much energy, and we just played not just in Germany, we just played in France and Netherlands, and even though the people don't understand the lyrics, they party and enjoy it. And that's the power of music. You feel what it is about without really understanding what they are singing, but you feel the energy, and this is the universal language of music.
I definitely can wait to see you performing live. So in the meantime, I gotta wait for the album. Thank you so much for your time, Mats. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you as well. Thank you for having me.
Goodbye.
Bye bye.